Well, good morning, everybody. I say good morning. It's a horrible grey day here in North Devon. I'm looking out of my craft room window and I can see the hills in the distance, but the sky is definitely touching the ground today. It's that horrible all over grey and it's raining and whoa, it's nasty. I have got some lights on, and I do hope that that means it's just a little bit brighter, and that you'll be able to see okay. But I'm trying not to put too many lights on because otherwise they get terrible shadows. So I'm just going to wait a few more minutes, wait for a few more people to join, and do say hello when you come on. And just, if I don't know you, do please say where you're from. I'd love to see you. Well, good morning, Sue. Welcome. I hope you're well this morning. Isn't it grey? That's all I can say. It's grey. But we'll cheer ourselves up for the next hour and a bit, doing some lovely crafting. So here we go. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join me. So we'll just be patient, because I know sometimes the vagaries of Facebook mean that sometimes people don't always get in as quickly as they would like. So let's see. Can you hear me okay, Sue? It would be great to know that the sound is okay. If you could just send up a little thumbs up, that would be really helpful. Brilliant. Thank you, Sue. It's good to know you can hear me. I always worry about, sound and lighting. These things can be quite difficult to set up. So I'm glad that you can hear me okay. And have you got a coffee or a tea? And are you sitting comfortably? And did you get your piece of paper ready and design a series paper and some card? Because I'll do some stamping first, and then we're going to use that stuff, all right? So, good. Okie dokie. Right, I'm going to get started now. So if the others come in and join us, which I'm sure they will, I'm hoping they will say hello. So, let's get rid of that. And I will say my formal good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me today. The Facebook Live that I'm going to do today is going to be based around Snowflake Wishes, which is a lovely stamp set and die bundle that is in the mini catalogue. Okay, and it's just snowflakes, everything snowflakes. So if you like snowflakes, this is the perfect one. Okay, what I've done is I've already taken lots of the stamps with the actual snowflakes off and put them onto blocks so that I'm all ready to go. It's a good job I got lots of blocks because there's lots of snowflakes. Right, good. Okay, so let's do some stamping. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up my... Do you like my new grid paper? Isn't it pretty? These are our in colours. This is Bumblebee. This is Magenta Madness. This is Just Jade. This is Misty Moonlight. And this one is Cinnamon Cider. And I must confess, when they came out, this was the colour I said, oh, I'm never going to use that. But it's surprising how useful that brown is. But my favourite colour is this. I love this Just Jade. I think it's so pretty. We won't be using it today. We will be using Misty Moonlight, however. So let's put down a piece of protection, and I'm also going to need a stamping mat, because the stamps that we're using are photopolymer. So whenever you use a photopolymer stamp, it's better to have something that's got a bit of a give to it. I mean, if you don't have a mat, you can try a magazine. Magazines work quite well. I find when I'm downstairs doing it on my lap, they work quite well. So let's see, let's get going. So I'm going to do some very simple stamping, and the colours that I've got ready are Misty Moonlight. Just get these going. Misty Moonlight, Seaside Spray. So we're going to have a blue day today. Bit of Balmy Blue. Blue, and I'm going to also use a bit of Pacific Point, I think. Right, so let's get going. So I'm going to start with a really nice big stamp. So I've got this one handy, and I've already managed to get ink on my thumb. Bring in a piece of Whisper White to do some stamping on, and my plan is to do some stamping across the top and across the bottom. Now I'm going to start with the big stamp first, and I'm just going to stamp with Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to go here, just going to not come down quite so far. I've turned the paper. This is the top of my card. Just have a little bit, and you'll notice I'm stamping off the edge. That just makes it look like it's more realistic. Good morning, Sue. Welcome. Hope you're feeling well today. I'm doing some stamping with Snowflake Wishes. We're going to have a snowflake morning. So here we go. So, oh, I have managed to get ink on my fingers. So let's now bring in a slightly smaller one. Let's have this one. And I'm going to choose this time, I'm going to choose Soft Sea Foam, and I'm literally going to just stamp this willy-nilly. Just like making up, whoops, oh dear, what I did there. I'm sure I can cover that up. Obviously got ink on my block. Let's get that out of the way. Give that a clean. Clean the edge. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a lovely, this one. This one has got lots on it and is great for filling up gaps. So I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp, I'm going to fill some spaces in all over. Just turn in my, good morning Hazel, welcome. What's the weather like down in Plymouth? So I'm just sort of building it up. There we go. Making lots and lots of layers. Hazel, I'm using Snowflake Wishes. We're going to have a blue snowflakey morning. Raining at the moment. Oh, right, yes. Well, you don't want it to get wet when you're going to work. And I've got ink all over my fingers. Right, so there we go. So there's my background. This is the bottom of my card, and this is the top of my card. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a sentiment across here. Now, oh, I didn't get them out. I have got lots of strips of this white card. When I'm cutting up my card bases, I end up with lots of strips of card. So let me get out a whole chunk of them. Oh, you're on the late shift, are you? Oh dear. So what time do you have to be there for the late shift, Hazel? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a piece of, yeah, I think that'll fit, and I'm going to stamp this in Misty Moonlight. And you'll notice that I have got my stamp on the block wonky, and I find it's easier. Oh, you're 2 o'clock, so oh blimey, that's a long time, that, Hazel. Right, so you'll notice that my stamp is on the block wonky. Good morning, Jeanette, welcome. And I find it's easier to have, if you've got a long stamp, put it on the block wonky, because your eye, when you're stamping, your eye will be drawn to one of the edges, and it's normally the one that's closest to you. All right, so if I was to have this on straight, instead of looking at my stamp, I can bet you my eye would be looking at the edge of that block. So if I've got it on wonky, I have to then focus on the stamp. All right, now put some more ink on there. So what I'm doing is I'm peering through the stamp, and I'm focusing on the words. There we go. Let's keep fingers crossed. There we go. You see, that's not bad, is it? Nice and fairly straight. And I'm going to put that on there like that. This is going to be quite a simple card, not too much flourishes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put something behind my sentiment. What I'm going to do is I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight card, and I'm going to punch a couple of, no, just one. I'm just going to punch a piece of card. And I'm going to snip that in half. Snip that in half. Do you like my little piglet on my scissor chain? Right, so this is going to go on here, just to give a little bit of pattern behind it. Right, so I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to bring in a silicone mat because I'm going to be playing with glue. So let's bring in my 2 pieces of that I just punched. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little blob of glue on there. Have the family been, Jeanette? Or have you told them to come later? Oh, good morning, Pauline. Welcome. Lovely to have you with us. I hope you're feeling well. I'm having a play doing cards, snowflake cards this morning, and I've managed to not put that on quite straight. There we go. Oh, there we go. So now I shall bring in some dimensionals. Oh, and I think I finished my pack. Did I finish my... Did I really? Oh no, here we go. So this piece of card is going to be perfect for these big dimensionals. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to pop this on my card, and I've got glue on here, but that will wipe off because it's a silicone mat. Pop this on here, and that's just going to go on there. That's just going to go up there like so. Put it on so it's level. Level would help. I need it to come over just a tiny bit. Whoops. Just a tiny bit over that. Oh look, oh dear. These dimensionals are dead sticky. Right, that's a bit better. Good. Well, you'd never know. You'd never know I pulled that bit of card off there. So let's get a card base and pop that onto a card base. Like that's just going to sit on there. I don't think it needs any more. I will put some bling on, of course. Right, let's bring in me Seal Plus. There we go. No, nearly put it upside down. Very close. Did you see that, girls? That would have been a deliberate mistake. Good. There we go. There's one card done. Shall I put some bling on it? Why not? Just because we can, just to pretty it up a bit. And how are you all getting on with your Christmas cards? Have you finished? Well, you know, I started really late. I've only just really started making mine. So I'm going to put some bling in the middle here. And then perhaps a couple at the top. There we go. So there's one card done. Good. Happy with that. Let's get this out of the way. Right. So let's do another one. Okie dokie. Now, I've got some white, whisper white card here. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp in the opposite corners. And if you watched me before on Facebook Live, or you've been to Stamp and Sit, you will know that I like doing stamps that are on the diagonal. Right, so I'm going to bring in, this time I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one, the one we used just a minute ago. And again, I'm going to start with the darkest colour in the corner. Like so. That's always a good place to start, and then I'll just do a little bit off here. Oh dear, I think I need to put that onto a smaller block because it's creating an edge. There we go. I'm going to start again, girls, and we all know this. We've got an emergency side to our paper. Okay, so in the corner, that's better. So there's a lesson learned. Try not to use too big a block. like so. There we go. Give that a clean. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little small snowflake, because there's several in the pack. I think I'm going to use this one. Or shall I use that one? No, let's use this one. And what I'm going to do, again, just as we did on the previous one, I'm going to just fill in. So, this is very dangerous because I've got all of these stamp pads open, and if I don't, not careful, I could go and stamp on the wrong one. Okay, so that's that one. So now, what I want to do is I want to do some more filling in, and but this time I'm thinking I'm going to put a little bit of Highland Heather. Why not? Because the paper that goes with this set, I just lost that little stamp set, just came off. There we go. The paper that goes with this suite has got a bit of Highland Heather or Gorgeous Grape in it. So let's do a little bit of filling in with this tiny little one, and it's slipping all over the place. I licked the back of it because it was a bit, there, hang on, let's do that again. That's better. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to fill in some more. And can you see? Lovely. It's nice when you have a little fill-in stamp, because you can just, I just need to move that a little bit, because one of them is definitely off the block. There we go. And let's come over here, do some filling in, just to give it a bit of texture really, even though we know this is just a flat piece of card. If you can add a bit of texture to your front, just looks really pretty. Okay, and you can do as much or as little as you like. There you go, that's nice. I'm happy with that. And I always think that Christmas cards are one of those things that, because we all make so many of them, you sometimes need to just plough on and get on through, make a lot, don't you? Now I'm going to put Highland Heather away for the minute. And this time I'm going to use a stamp from Itty Bitty Christmas. Now let me show you this. This is a stamp set that's been around a little while, but it is so useful, especially at Christmas. And there are, I think there's 3 of them that are all start Itty Bitty. We have Itty Bitty Birthdays, which obviously is lots of birthday sentiments. Itty Bitty Greetings, and that's just general. There's lots and lots on that one. And then we have this one, which is Itty Bitty Christmas, and it's lovely. And I'm going to use this one. Is this the one I'm using? No, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I think that's such a useful one to have. So that's the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White. And I'm going to stamp onto Whisper White with my Misty Moonlight, and then I'm going to punch it out. Or shall I punch it out first? Let's punch it out first. And this is the tailored tag punch. Nice shape. And let's see if I can get this on here straight. We don't find it up the right way. Let's see. Okay. Lovely. Pretty. Give that a clean. And you'll notice they are red rubber, these ones, as opposed to the photopolymer that we were using for the snowflakes. Now I'm going to pop, got in that for the minute, bring in my card front, and what I'm thinking, that's just going to go in there. So I think I could do with something behind it. So how about if I use a bit of card? Oh, we don't really punch that. So I'm going to punch two shapes. Now this is definitely the sort of card that you would have made at Stamp and Sip online, Stamp and Sip face to face, if we'd have been able to do it, because I would have had all of this prepared for you, and I'm sure you would have enjoyed making. That's how I'm going to do that. Pretty. Right, bring in some glue. This time I'm going to use liquid glue. Okay. I'm going to stick some glue behind there. Okay. And I'm using liquid glue, so I've got a bit of wriggle room, because I want that to go like so. So it's just a little bit poking out. And then put a bit more glue on the back of that one. See, it wriggled. And this is going to go like so. Good. Lovely. So that is just literally going to go in there. So a nice simple card. And I'll bring in some dimensionals, give it a bit of pop, and pop that behind there. You're being very quiet, girls. Are you busy making your cards too while you're watching me? That's going to go there. Lovely. Well, there's our second card. Oh no, I need to put it onto a base, don't I? Let's bring in a card base. And again, that's just literally going to go on there, like so. In fact, what I might do, how about if I bring in a piece of the Designer Series paper? Let's chop a bit of Designer Series paper up. Oh, I've got a piece that's already sort of cut. Like so. This is the pack of Designer Series paper. Oh, what about that one? That might look nice underneath there. No, it's not quite big enough. I've obviously trimmed it for some reason or other. Oh. So let's see. I want a fairly plain piece. And quite often when the papers, when you look at the paper pack, you will find that there's a design on one side. I love that one. And then on the other side, there's something a bit more, you know, not so patterned. That's the word I'm looking for, not so patterned. All right, so I'm going to cut this up, bring in my trimmer. Need to make space on my desk for my trimmer. Okay. So I'm going to I think I'm going to avoid that bit, and I'm going to use this side. So I need to cut this to 3 7/8. 7/8. 7/8 by 5 5/8. And hopefully I will just see a tiny weeny little bit behind a card. Yay, there we go. Just a little bit, look. Not too much. So let's put some glue on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a squiggle of liquid glue. Pop that behind there. Just a tiny little bit showing. It's not meant to be a huge amount. Bring in a card base that I've already got cut. What I tend to do is when my card bases are getting low, I grab a pack of Whisper White Thick and I sit there and watch the telly, and I literally just chop up lots of A6 card bases. So I've got them all ready. And you all know that my favourite one is to have it sideways like this. So there we go. Line that up. Cool. Nice, simple, clean card that I can now add a bit of bling to. And I've lost my bling. What did I do with it? I had it here a minute ago. It will turn up. Tell me where I put it, girls. There we go. Underneath everything. You know, when you're crafting, I often think you need a desk bigger than you've got. Okay, now I'm looking for my little pick-me-up tool. And I shall put one in the middle of these big ones here. Perhaps just dot a couple of little ones out. Okay. There we go. There's another card. Pretty. Pretty. So there's our second one. Right, now, before I do another one, I did ask you to dig out a piece of some Christmassy paper and some coordinating card, and your paper needs to be 6 by 6 because we're going to do a one-sheet wonder. All right, and I think we're gonna make about 4 cards from that piece of 6 by 6. So if you haven't got it ready and some card bases, you've got time to do it. All right, so go and get it ready. Now, this next card one. Right, so I'm going to bring in one of my card fronts, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Misty Moonlight again because I do like it, and I want a nice big stamp, and I've got another one on in the set that I don't think I've put onto a block yet. Let's have a look. Maybe it's that one. I practiced this one because I wanted it to be quite... Oh no, I think we'll use that one we've had. Oh no. Let's see. Ah, here's the one I want. So I'm going to take this one off of here, pop that on there, and I'm going to use this one here. Is it this one? Yeah, use this one. There we go. So here we go. And again, this is going to be just another stamped card. So what I'm going to do now, I need to be careful how I place this, and you'll see why. So I'm getting it sort of in the middle, like this. Lovely. Then I'm going to come to the side of it, and I want to sort of line it up. Try and get it straight. And the points don't need to touch. There we go. And then I'm going to come over on the other side. And look at that. We've made a lovely pattern with our stamp, which is just what I wanted. I love the shape that that creates. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, let's see, this is another kind of a fill-in stamp, and it's got several snowflakes on it and some little dots, which I think is quite useful. So I'm going to bring in here soft sea foam, and I've just managed to stick that in there, soft sea foam, and I'm going to literally just stamp across here. Turn it. That makes that darker blue snowflake really pop by putting that blue behind it. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in the little stamp that we have. Where's the little one with all the snowflakey bits on it? Right, this one. I do like this, and this is not my idea. I've copied this from somebody else, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along here and stamp, because what I want to do is I'm making a kind, and it probably looks like a mess at the minute. All I'm trying to do is make a background strip, if you like. Move that over and get some on there. I'm going to turn it round and do some more. And it looks like it's a snowstorm. What I'm trying to do is I'm just literally trying to fill in the gaps so there's not much white showing across this middle section of the card. Oh. Okay. Right. That's the look I'm looking for. Very filled in. And just keep going until you think, oh yeah, I've got enough now. Cool. Lovely. I need a little bit more there, I think. Got some more there. Just keep inking up. Thank you, Hazel. Right. So, give that a clean. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same little stamp set. Yeah, I'm going to use this. Or shall I use this bigger one? No, I'm going to use this same little stamp set. But I'm going to bring in Misty Moonlight again. And this time I'm going to be a bit more careful where I stamp. And I'm going to do it like this. Yeah. No, I'm going to do it like that. Can you see that curve there that's created by that stamp? Well, I've got my little stamp, and it's kind of got a loop to it. So I'm going to literally do that. Do that. Turn it round and do the same again. Which I could just do with a little bit more on that edge there. That's better. There we go. Very delicate, don't you think? So let's clean that. Okay. So now what I need now is I need a sentiment. And I need a sentiment. I want my sentiment to go across the bottom here. Now let's just have a look and see if there's anything in here that I like. We've used Snowflake Wishes. I don't know anybody who celebrates Hanukkah, so I won't use that one. So I'm going to bring in Itty Bitty Christmas. Oh, shall we use this one? Lots of Love at Christmas. Love that one. So let's get a block. Pop it onto my block. And I think that will just, oh yeah, that will look lovely there. Good. And I'm going to do it in Misty Moonlight. I'm just going to practice it. Pretty. Cool. And that's going to go there. Lovely. Lovely. Now I shall bring in a card base. That's going to go straight on there. No glue. And you'll notice that when I'm using liquid glue to put on a piece of ordinary Whisper White, I tend to put it on to the base rather than putting it onto my stamped piece of card. Because that way it gives the ink time to almost sink into the card base, and hopefully then you won't see it through your stamped piece of card, if you understand what I mean. Because sometimes, because Whisper White, this piece of Whisper White is not as thick as the thick stuff, obviously. If you put too much glue on, it will warp it. But that looks good. Definitely needs some bling on it. Let's get me blingy bits out. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put some fairly big ones, I think, in the middle here. Onto these nice big ones here. There we go. And let's put one there and one there. There, what do you think? There's another card done. and all we have used is ink and a bit of paper. Nothing too outrageous at all, no dyes or anything like that, so that's good. Right, let me turn my glue up another way so it's ready for when I want to use it. So those are the 3 cards that we've just made. Okay, don't they look nice? You can see there's a theme running through them. All right, and it's making the most of the stamp set, at least I think it is. And we've just added in a few bits. All right, so those are those cards. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to go and get your designer series paper, your 6x6 designer series paper, and your cardstock. Right. And I am going to use this one because I love this. I think this is really, oh look, I've got a little bit of sparkle that's fallen off. I'm gonna just get that out of the way. Right, okay, now you need your trimmer. Definitely going to need your trimmer, and you're going to need some card. So I've got a piece of A4 card. Before I go much further, I'm just going to close up my ink pads for the moment because I'm going to need to get my trimmer on the table. And knowing me, I will stick my trimmer into the ink. Right, so here we go. Got rid of all those. Let's get rid of the stamps for the minute. And we are going to do a one sheet wonder. Now this is a one sheet wonder that I designed myself. So I'm sure somebody else has thought of it, but, and I've lost my little piece of card where, oh, my piece of card where I've got the measurements. Here we go. Right. So bring in my trimmer. Here we go. So, have you got your designer series paper ready, girls? Just 6x6 piece. If you let me know that you're ready, pop thumbs up or a little heart or something like that if you're going to join in, so that I know you're watching. And I'm going to have a slurp whilst you're doing that. Takes a little while for anything that you do on your Facebook to get through to me, so I'm hoping that you're all ready. Right, so I've got a piece of the Snowflake, what's it called? Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. This is from the mini catalogue, and if I had a mini catalogue handy, which I thought I had one, I would show it to you. But I've tidied up my desk and I've put my catalogue somewhere, which would help, wouldn't it? I will, when I do my blog post, I will say you'll see a picture of the designer series paper, and this is one of them, and this is Misty Moonlight and white. I don't think there's any other colours in this one. I would join in. You're having an early, right, okay, Hazel, well that's a good excuse. But you can follow along, and when I do my blog post, I will give you where you need to cut, so that if you want to give it a try, you can. Right, so for this one sheet wonder, what you need is, you're going to make the first cut at 3 3/4. Okay, so you end up with a piece. Two pieces, one bigger than the other, and then this big piece you're going to turn it, and you're going to cut this at 4 7/8. Right, so you've now got 3 pieces. So let's work on this big piece first of all, and you're going to cut this at 1 inch, 1.5 inches, no, 1.25 inches, and then 1.5 inches. And that will leave you with a piece that is 1 1/8. Right, so that'll give you 4 pieces from that one piece. Then we're going to bring in this piece, and this one you are going to cut at 1.5, 1.5, one and a half, and that should give you another piece that's 1.5. So you've now got 4 pieces of 1.5 by 2 1/4. So that's all the cutting we need to do for our designer series paper. Now let's bring in our piece of card. Right, so the first cut you need to make is 5 1/8. 1/8. And you need to cut a piece that's 1 3/4. And let's see, so that should hopefully fit one of these pieces. Where's my other piece gone? Alright, so I think that's right. Oh no, maybe not. Oh no, that's maybe 4, should be 4 1/8. Let's have a look. 3 3/4. 4 7/8. Oh, right, okay. Right, so this needs to be cut down a bit. Right, I thought I'd worked all of this out. So this is 1.5, so that needs to be 1 3/4. Let's put that around. 1 3/4. And this needs to be 4. So that's going to fit that piece like so, and then this piece is going to be 4 inches. So what you're doing is you're adding on a quarter of an inch to the pieces. So this needs to be, this was 1 1/8, so that's 1 3/8. So hopefully that's going to fit on there. Yeah, so 1 3/8. I've got another one that's going to fit onto. Yeah, so this one here is 1 1/8, so that's going to be 1 3/8. Okay, and of course if you don't like that bigger piece of card, you can cut these to any size that you want. That's going to go on there, and this I think is 1 1/4, so that needs to be 1 1/2. 1 1/2, like so. Now you don't even need to put these card pieces on if you don't want to. So I've got another piece of card here we've already cut. Well, look at that. That fits that bit. That's 3 3/4, so I'll cut this at 4. There we go. Okay. Now we've just got these little pieces, and these all measure 1.5 by 2 1/4. So that means I need, what did I say it was? 1.5 by 2 1/4. So if I cut this to, if I do it on the long side, 2 1/4. If I do it 2 1/2, and then these should be 1 3/4, shouldn't they? Yeah. So 1 3/4. Okay. 1 3/4. Okay. So there's all my pieces, all right? Okay, so we've now got those. So let's glue them to the card. Let's bring in some liquid glue. Just put a squiggle of glue on the card and then pop it on and line it up onto your card base. There we go. Squiggle of glue. Oops. Ooh. There we go. I've never actually done a one sheet wonder at Stamp and Sip, but I think it would be quite a nice thing to do. You could all bring along your trimmer, couldn't you? Mind you, I've probably got enough for lots of you to use. I've probably got 3 or 4 trimmers, so I could possibly bring enough for everybody. But that might be a nice thing to do at a future Stamp and Sip when we can get together again. For those of you that would normally come to treat time in Barnstaple, I have messaged the cafe owner this morning to see whether, when we come out of lockdown, if I can go. Because the date that we are due to go to treat time would be the 2nd of December. And of course that would be the day we're coming out of lockdown. So I don't know whether, I think she's staying open doing takeaways and things, but I need to just check with her, that she's happy for us to go on that day, or even if we're going to be allowed to start things up again. It might be that it's, you know, we come out of lockdown at midnight on that day or something like that. So I'm trying to find out. And it looks like I've forgotten to do a piece of card. I need to trim another piece. Okay, so let me bring my trimmer in because I've got one more piece here that hasn't got a piece of card behind it. So this one measures, oh, the right way go. So this measures 2 1/4 by 1 1/2. So I want 2 1/2. Have I got a piece that's 2 1/2? Yeah, 2 1/2 by, what did I say it was? 1 1/2 by, so I want this to be, oh, my brain is beginning to go 1 1/2, so this needs to be 1 3/4. And you can always check by putting it on there like so. Yeah, 1 3/4. Like so. Okay. Oh, it's raining again. Duh. Okay. So, here we go. Put it on straight. Okay, so what I've done is I've done a little template. So this shows you how big the pieces are. So our first cut was down here, all right, and these are the sizes that we've cut them into, and then these are this longer piece that we've cut. So you can see we've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 pieces, right? So you're thinking, what are we going to do with those 9 pieces? So let me show you. So I'm going to bring in some card bases. And what I've done is I've actually made a couple up already. And this is to help remind me what they're supposed to look like. I've done some templates. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So we're going to start with this one. And I will put a piece of Whisper White behind it. And I think what I might do is I might even run them through the Big Shot, because with this suite comes a lovely embossing folder that's got snowflakes on it. So how about if I emboss this piece? So talk amongst yourselves, girls. I'm just going to do some embossing, and I want 1 2, let's do 3 pieces. 3 pieces. I'm just going to pop it through. I said Big Shot, didn't I? I didn't mean Big Shot. I meant through Stacey, my stamping, cut and emboss machine. But here we go. So I've got it on a little table by the side of me, because there's no way I could get this on my desk. And I need embossing plates. So there's 1. 2. 2. There's number 2. And then there's number 3. Lovely, so I've now got 3 pieces. Oh, okay. first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these to the front of my card. And I'm going to do them with the embossed side up. But you could always do it with the debossed side up. It's just as pretty. But I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to pop this on here. So, bit of glue. Oh, on here. And you all know that I like lots of white space on my cards, but I don't mind a bit of embossing. And you're probably thinking, she put that on the back of the Whisper White. Yes, I did, but because it's been embossed, it's not so bad, it won't show. There we go. So those are 3 card bases already. So let's just have a look at what we're going to do. So I'm going to put one of those across. Now I'm going to put this one like so, and then I'm going to put that like so. Right. And I like, when I'm doing a one-sheet wonder, I like to lay them out first of all, so that I can make sure that I'm getting the most out of my pieces of card. So let's see. So we'll have one like so. And what about one across there? Like so. Oh, we'll do another one. This one I'll just keep plain. And I'm going to put that like so. And that like so. Right, let me just glue that piece onto there. Or nearly. Okay, so let's start with this one. Put that on there. And I'm going to pop that on there. And of course you can put these wherever you like. Now you've cut them up, they're all ready for you to do with what you wish. So there's one. Right, and let's do this one. And what I'm sort of, when I'm placing them, I'm sort of thinking, well, where am I going to put my sentiment? And I'm going to do that one like that. And at the minute we don't know what sentiments we're going to use, but that's fine. We will find one. We've got lots to choose from Itty Bitty Greeting or from Snowflake Wishes, making sure that's straight. And then I'm going to put that on here like so. I'll leave a little bit of a gap. That's that one. And then this one, I'm going to this one I'd better have the card straight because I want these two to be fairly straight. Stick one there. Does that look straight? Yeah. And then this one goes on here. And again I'm going to leave a gap. Line it up. That's going to go across there. Well, look at that. couldn't have put those any differently, could I? And they've just fitted perfect. Wouldn't have mattered if the gap was smaller and it had stuck out. We'd have made it work. And now we got this one. And this one I'm just gonna glue across the lower bit of my card. So glue this on. And I'll have that poking over there. So there we go. So there's our 4 cards. Right. Now all we need to do is put sentiments on them. So what am I going to use? I'm going to use the Snowflake Wishes one again. I'm going to use Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And then there's another one here, which is Christmas Cheer. Now this Christmas Cheer one fits beautifully onto the classic label punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. Let's just stamp some. And what shall I go to? Yeah, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight, just because it goes so well. I love that. I love the colour. Let's do them all the same. So let's do a couple of these. Okay. And then punch those out. You see, fits beautifully. Lovely. Such a useful punch, this one, I think. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this one. Now, am I going to... Let's see. I don't know what shape I'm going to do it onto. So let's just stamp it once. Lovely. And I've got here the Label Me Fancy punch. Let's see if that will fit on. Oh, that will fit on there nicely. Yay. Line it up. Yep. Good. And I will stamp it again. Oh, I didn't do that very well, did I? Let's do that again. Better. And that's going to go on there. Like so. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got our sentiments done. So now, should I put a little bit of something on them? Let's bring in Seaside Spray, and I'm going to bring in one of the snowflakes. I don't want one that's too fussy. I want quite a clean one. That'll do. That will do. And I'll need to kind of find a piece of, there we go. Find a piece of, what did I do with me? There we go. Thingy, this is stamping pad. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to add a little bit to my labels, just to make them look a bit pretty. One, Makes it look like they've been cut out of something rather than just a plain piece of paper then. Cool. Now where's the other one gone? 1, 2. Didn't I do 4? I thought I did 4. Oh. Well, how strange is that? I'm sure I did 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, let's do another one. Because we need 4 sentiments. So let's bring that one back again. And you watch, as soon as I finish stamping this, it will turn up. There we go. Oh, I've done it in pale blue. Oh, that looks quite nice too. So let's do it in pale blue. So this is soft sea foam, not pale blue. Duh. There we go. And we will put a little bit of stamping on there. So a little bit. Cool. Under the grid paper, is that where it is? You're not wrong. Well done, Hazel. Right, I shall use the darker one because I like the dark one. I don't dislike the light one, but I just prefer the dark one. Well done. You're obviously keeping an eye on what I'm doing, Hazel. Thank you so much. Right, there you go. There's our stamping done. So now let's bring in our cards. We want some dimensionals. Have I got any more dimensionals out? No, I want some big dimensionals, not little dimensionals. Let's get a new sheet of dimensionals out. Okay, so let's put dimensionals on here. Now these little ones, now we'll put the mini dimensionals behind the classic label punch. You can either do it with your fingers or you could pull them off with a pokey tool. Fingers is fine. Oh. Until you get it stuck on your nails. Right, there we go. So one more. Right, so let's get our cards back and decide which sentiment is going to look better on which one. So these are the 4, those are the sentiments. So I think that will look nice on there. 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 And then this one across here. What do you reckon? Yeah? Nice, clean, simple cards again. I'm just getting these glue blocks out of the way. there we go. So there's our cards. And they definitely need a little bit of something extra, don't you think? Now, what about if we put a little, let's have a think about some bows. Get that out of the way. Now, we have got some ribbon. What I'm looking for is, I'm looking for something, some ribbon or some twine. Let's see. Now there was a nice ribbon. Oh, what's that? Oh, what about that? Oh, what about this? Ah, this is just an ordinary. This is one of our ribbons that we tend to have in the catalogue every time it comes out, and it's just white ribbon. You can get it with either a silver edge to it or a gold edge to it. And the nice thing about this ribbon is you can colour it any colour you like. So I'm going to just do a little bow first of all. It's with it and white, and let's see what happens. Do a little bow, bunny ears bow. Okay, Hazel, have a good day at work. Say hello to Dave. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you don't get wet. Right, bring some scissors in. Okay, so let's cut that on the. So, right there. Oh, got a bit of there. Right, so let's put that on. Oh, I think that goes in there. So we need some glue dots. Right, so pop a glue dot behind the knot. Like so. Just pull it off and that glue dot will stick behind the knot. And there we go. That's just giving that a little bit of a lift, isn't it? And I'm going to do the same, I think. Make another bow to go on this one. I don't want the bows too big, so that's why I tend to leave them on the reel, so I don't cut off a piece and then find I don't need it all and waste it. Scissors. Okay. Pop it up again, pop it behind the knot, and I will stick this in the same way, like so. So those are those two done with ribbons. So now, do we want to put a ribbon on this one? What do you reckon? Shall we colour a bit of ribbon? How about that? Let's do a bit of colouring. So I'm going to bring in a marker pen, and I'm going to just unreel a bit of it. And this is the Stampin' Right marker, and this is for Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to use the brush end. Now I want to put something behind this so that I don't get, let's use this. Right, so brush end, and I'm literally just going to add some colour to this ribbon. You see it's colouring it. And you can do this with stamping blends as well, which are the alcohol markers. I'm doing a fair bit because I know I want to do at least 2 bows. Well, I want 2 bows, not at least 2 bows, but I want 2 bows. Okay, so let's just cut, give it a bit of a just to make sure it's dry. Now I'm going to tie my bow, and it looks completely different now I've coloured it, that bow, doesn't it? Trim that, so. And can you see here, this is because this is the reverse side of the ribbon, and that gives it kind of like an ombre look, and I quite like that. I'm not going to add any more colour. I could. Right, I definitely need more ribbon. So let's colour another bit. That's not quite long enough. God, I just looked at the time, girls. It's 12 o'clock. Coo. Coo. Didn't realise it was that late. Well, we're nearly finished now, so. There we go. There we go. Right, so let's bring in our last 2 cards that we haven't put any ribbons onto yet. Clear the decks a bit. I might need the scissors, so here we go. So this one, where am I going to put this? I'm obviously in a mood for putting them on top corner on the wonk. So let's do that one the same. And I think that's the thing with Christmas cards. You need to get a little production line going, don't you? And that's quite fun. You can do all the stamping and get all your cutting done, then you're stamping, and then you're putting together, and it's quite a relaxing thing to do, I think. Right, now that we've got this one, I'm going to put this one. Give that a bit of a twist. It's going to go in exactly the same place. Get that glued up and put that behind there. There we go. That's going on there like so. So I didn't need my scissors after all. So there we go. There's our cards. Let's bring in the other ones that we've made. So these are the ones we've just done as a one sheet wonder, and I don't think I can get them all in the view. And then these are the ones that we did first of all. Let's get my stamps out of the way. 2, 3, where we just did simple stamping. Right. And those have all been done using the Itty Bitty Christmas and the Snowflake Wishes stamp set. We didn't use any of the dies. We just used stamp set and ink paper. So I hope you've enjoyed that, everybody. As I say, I will do a blog post, and if there is anything you think, oh, I'd like to buy that, I will put a link to my shop for everything that I've used today, and you'll just be able to click that link and it will take you straight to my shop. If you've got any questions, then please do contact me. Either you can email me or you can just send me a private message, and I will get back to you. All right, so there we go. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and until we meet again, which will actually be on Saturday. Now Saturday would have been the day we would meet for Stamp and Sip at the Pannier Pantry in Bideford, which obviously we're not going to do. And normally on a Saturday we meet at, oh, thank you whoever just put the little thumbs up, we would meet at 2 o'clock. Well, I hope you don't mind, but on Saturday it's England playing rugby, and I would really like to be able to catch most of it at least. So I'm going to start at 1 o'clock. So have an early lunch, girls, and come and join me at 1 o'clock, and I will put a Facebook Live link onto my Stamp and Sip online group, and you can come along. And if you know any friends that you think would like to come along too, please do invite them. And oh, by the way, if you'd like to share this video or this Facebook Live, I will send you a little gift for sharing it. So please look forward to seeing you again, and thank you very much. And it's been a long while. It's been an hour and a half, girls. Well done for sticking with it. So thank you again. Bye. Bye.